Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. Welcome to the Daily Compliance News for January 4, 2024, the end of LaPierre edition. And we begin with that story from NPR, which reports on the corruption trial, which could lead to the end of National Rifle Association 30-year president Wayne LaPierre. Obviously, lots has come out in discovery in various forums about his conflicts of interest, his corruption, his crippling of the NRA, and how he ran it as a personal fiefdom. So now it's going to be up to the New York State Attorney General to prove to the court that his corruption should prevent him from leading a charitable organization in the great state of New York. Next up from the New York Times, SpaceX has been found to have illegally fired workers who were critical of Elon Musk by the National Labor Relations Board. Several workers tweeted and circulated writings that they disagreed with Elon Musk's tweet and thought that was damaging and that was damaging SpaceX. And of course, SpaceX did what you would expect of an Elon Musk company. They fired them, particularly illegally fired them. And this went up to the highest levels of SpaceX with the president of the organization. So the NLRB has found illegal actions by SpaceX. Of course, SpaceX will fight them as they do anything which is pro-worker. And we'll have to see what damages, if any, eventually come out of this matter. From the Wall Street Journal, a very interesting article from the CFO Journal about what is on the checklist for CFOs going into 2024. Number one, the global macro environment. Most CFOs are telling you resilience in the face of current macro environment is the priority, and uncertainty is certainly the new normal. The American consumer. What's the health of the American consumer? Always a big question. Number 3, managing talent. This is one of the biggest issues in audit firms as well as for CFOs, because you have to manage people, clients, and capital strength as a CFO. Managing costs. Costs remain at the forefront of C-suite agendas as companies continue to prioritize finding efficiencies and staying profitable. And finally, forging strategic partnerships. Think of a CFO as a multidimensional component that drives business results. And the mission for the finance team is partner with the businesses to make them successful. Sounds to me a whole lot like compliance. And our final story comes to us from Reuters about the corrupt former bankruptcy judge in Houston who was in a long-term relationship with a partner at a law firm who had cases in front of him. Indeed, his putative romantic partner had cases in front of him. He was sued individually, and he's trying to claim that his rulings cannot be challenged, even though he engaged in a massive conflict of interest and corruption going forward. Good luck. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.